Alright everybody, welcome back. We're going to do a shifter assembly removal because in order to drop the rear differential out of the car and the whole rear suspension setup, we have to take the shifter out because the shifter is connected to the torque tube. So what we're going to do is just get right into it. I already started, but I'll just go over it real quick again because I thought I videotaped this. So in order to take the shifter out, we're going to walk through this journey blind because I never took a shifter out of a C7 before. I watched a few videos, I had an idea of it, but why not just show it myself? So this customer has a little bit of clutter, but we'll just work around that. But what you're going to do first is pop open the armrest, take this piece off. It just pops right off. You could use panel puller spoons, that may help, but you can also use your fingers as well. But you can just pop this cover off. You got two 10mm bolts right here. This side piece right here, this comes right off. Okay, so it just pops right off. All right, so we can just get rid of that. Put that in the back right there. Now we're left with this. So you got to take the armrest off in order to get a couple things under here. So these are what size are these? T15 Torx. So this is a T15 torque. So we're going to remove these out of the way. Get the armrest out of the way. Because under these brackets here is holding the armrest down. So get rid of this. This just pop right off. Do is to keep these bolts knowing where they are, we'll put them right back in here. It's kind of a cool interior combo. What do you want to call this? Cognac. Put that right back there. Yeah, that's nasty. Okay, that's really nasty. What else would I take? I'll take this cup holder out. And this whole assembly should pop right up like so. Okay, we got some set screws here. Let me get an Allen head. Let me get a T-handle. Got some set screws. He's got an aftermarket shifter handle in here, so we're going to get rid of that. It's a set screw right there, as you can see. But this whole thing just pops right up once the cover comes off. And they should give you access to a lot of things. So I'm going to quickly just turn off the camera and return because I need to get a Allen T-handle for that set screw right there. Alright, so I know I'm a little bit ahead of myself right now, but once I took the set screws out for this weird shifter, this center console panel right here literally just pops right up. Okay, when you pop it right up, disconnect all the related connectors because there's a whole harness underneath here. Let me move this out of the way. There's a whole harness underneath here, so what you're going to do is just remove all the connectors. We have two underneath connecting to that panel. We have one for the cigarette lighter right here. We have a harness that follows along here. Disconnect that. Now there's 10mm bolts that nuts you got to move. We got two here. Get my camera out of the way. One right there. One right there. And two right in the front here. One, two. After this whole panel should come right up. Now there's probably going to be a harness underneath here as well, so you just kind of have to, there's a connector right there. You're going to have to try to just work this connector. Someone's been in here before because look, all the connectors are all jacked up, or the Christmas trees, but just disconnect things, try to work the harness through, and this should just pop right out. Alright, I got to put the camera down, bear with me 1 second, okay? Okay, we're back. We removed, snaked the harness through this whole piece. This is the whole piece right here. Here's the transmission tunnel right here. This is literally, since it's the C7, C5 is set up the same exact way, trans tunnel and everything. So we're going to move the shifter boot, which we're going to replace because look, it's ripped. So we're going to replace that sucker. What else we got? Take this boot out. All right, four more 10mm bolts here, which we're going to take out. So I'm going to shut the camera off quickly, take these 4 bolts out, and move the shifter boot right here. Okay, now that we got the shifter vapor boot off. Actually, no. Boot off. Shifter cover off. Tunnel cover off. Now we're at the shifter right here. Okay. So what you're going to do is, when you want to remove the shifter, you should always make sure that the gearbox is in neutral, because right there, that's the shift rod going right back to the gearbox right here. Alright, so you're going to remove all the T40 Torx, 1, 2, and then for the shifter rod itself, right, wait, here sucks, right there, okay? Crack them off with a ratchet first before you go ripping on them with an impact gun. But always make sure the gearbox is in neutral. And what you should do is, I'm going to mark it right now. Get a marker and kind of trace the outside of the bolt right here, the head of the bolt, so at least you know where to actually place the shifter housing itself, because if you move it forward or aft, you can actually adjust the shifter linkage that way. So make sure you mark these. Okay, so we're going to remove these 1, 2, and 3, and then remove the shifter out of here. Alright, since we got the bolts out, what you're going to do is just work the shifter off. You may have to get a pry bar either between here or between the trans tunnel and the shifter assembly itself, and just kind of pop and pry it. And once it comes apart, just work this shifter shaft out of the actual shifting shaft assembly, which is right here. Okay, slide it forward and it should just pop right out. So here it's the assembly. Now if you want to put a short throw shifter in, this is what you do to take everything apart, and just reverse the assembly when putting it back together. That's pretty much it. Alright, so this step is now done to drop the transmission tunnel, or I should say the rear drivetrain along with the torque tube assembly. Stay tuned for more.